Welcome to this month's Curator's Pick. It's such a beautiful day here in Moline, Illinois, that we decided to go out to the gardens. The flowers are just starting to come up. We haven't planted any annuals yet, but I wanted to do a feature on this wonderful trellised garden. We know that the Butterworths redid the landscape here, William and Katherine Butterworth, in about 1910. The house was built in 1892. We aren't quite sure what the early garden looked like, but by 1910 they erected this trellised garden. Now we do have one picture showing the trellis garden facing down the pergola area, and you can see that there's white pillars with some green slats connecting those pillars. When I came to work here, all of this trellis was painted white, and I knew from looking at the old pictures that at one time it had been two colors, white and something dark, but we didn't know what until we realized we needed to do some repair work on the trellis. And this board right here came off during a heavy windstorm that we had, and it was all painted white, but when this board came off, underneath here was the original paint, and it was green, which seems rather appropriate for John Deere's descendant. But we were able to take this board to a paint store and match the color, so we knew what color this was originally painted. Since we had to do some repair work on these crossbars, the pieces connecting the pillars, we thought, and we needed to repaint the pillars too, we thought now's the time to take it back to the color scheme that the Butterworths had. Let's walk down and see one of the benches. We've got benches on both sides and at the far end, and we knew what those benches looked like. The two smaller ones were here when we came, although they needed some repair work. So we can see the one right here with one of the staff members seated on the bench, but you can see that this trellis area was quite overgrown with plantings. Another great picture that we found was this one, where we see Carl Wielander, who is one of the staff for William and Katherine Butterworth, crouched here in the garden. Definitely a spring picture because the tulips are in bloom. We have heard stories that Mrs. Butterworth would have her gardener plant tulip bulbs all over the garden each early spring for them to bloom. Then those were dug up until the next spring, and other plantings were growing up there or added. But we see this wonderful planting around Carl with a big urn back here. We don't know what happened to that. We can see the porch, or the fence pillar with the round ball down there behind, just past the trellis. And we can also see a bench at the end in this photo. Now, at some point, they ripped out that bench. We don't know why, but we had an Eagle Scout come in to do some repair work on the benches and build a new bench to go in that alcove there just like the Butterworths had had it. So it's a wonderful trellis garden. Come back and see us in the summer when everything is in bloom. But we're just thrilled that we have this back to the original white with the green accent. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time.